Coming to you from San Antonio, Texas. Once again, being joined by Steven Martinez. My man, how are you, bro?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Chilling.
My man, we're out here actually enjoying a nice little liquid death, man. I mean, what are your thoughts, man? I mean, how'd you taste it?
I like it. I never tried it before. And I didn't even know they had flavors, to be honest with you. I just saw the regular one, the white and black can.
Yeah.
This is good.
That was the first one I actually got, and I was
I know you can order them online. Where do you find them at, though?
On these, 7-Eleven.
Really?
They carry them here in town. And it's only a few of them, too, man. A lot of them don't carry them, but...
So the distribution rights and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I know about all that because my dad's been in the beer business for years, and it's not even the beer companies he works for; it's the distribution company. So.
Oh yeah, and that's another thing we can talk about later, dude. Because I know people that are doing that, and I'm kind of like, okay, I didn't, because obviously they send people to that city, and they work with the stores that they pick up.
Oh, dude, my dad, I wish I had his job, man. He doesn't even work anymore. Like my mom would be like, hey, come, I want you to come check on me this week, I'm like, for what? She goes, your dad's going out of town. He's going to New Orleans. I'm like, for what? She goes, for work. I go, what's he going to be doing? She goes, oh, they have a golf tournament. I go, that's not work. But he's getting paid to go out there and fight.
Yeah, man.
The reps from these big, from Miller, because it's Miller that he's working for.
Yeah.
So,
that's cool, Miller, though, man. They're able to do that, man.
Shit. I would skip school sometimes and he'd be at home on his computer, and I'd come home like, what are you doing here? He goes, I'm working. What are you doing here? Like,
oh, shit. Yeah, I'm working too.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy, bro. Man, I mean, I brought you here earlier. Of course, we jumped on the podcast earlier, man. And right now, I actually wanted to go over this UFC 276 card.
Yeah.
And a few changes, man. We just found out that Miesha Tate got bumped. Her opponent got COVID, man. We were just talking about that.
Yeah. I had my own little COVID experience.
Yeah, you see, and the thing we were talking about, it's just, I mean, it's not being talked about as much, but I mean, it's still out there. And when I'm out there and I don't want to throw the wife under the bus, but I mean, you said she's a germaphobe as far as you know.
She knows it, dude. It's like a running joke, and she admits it. But yeah, she's real good about keeping everything clean. Like, I'll put it this way: even stuff that's new, because there is those horror stories of people picking up COVID from grabbing shit just off the counter, like just off the shelf at the store. So like we'll get stuff that new. She doesn't let anybody touch it till she washes.
She's like, wait.
Like it could be like new clothes. She's like, it's going in the wash, and I'm like, no one's touched it. It got made. It got sent to the store. She goes, yeah, but you don't know some asshole sneeze on it at the store, cough. Which
you see, that's true.
Paranoid, but
yeah,
she's not. There's truth in that. Like,
yeah.
People are like, and I say this all the time, but people are gross, man.
Yeah.
People are.
No, yeah. You see, in these, just so you know, I actually rinse these out when I bought them, dude. But I'm big with that though, because I've heard shit too about
canning.
The warehouse, bro. Like, I mean, and it's true because they sit there for 30 days before they put them out, and it's just like, okay, what's walking around in there?
Done, but now it's like after, especially when COVID hit, I was like, man, that wrapped her up, bro. So everything, groceries, clothes, it's all gotta be washed. But yeah, man, like it's out there, and I understand why people are afraid of it. I was afraid of it for a pretty long time, and for me, it doesn't scare me so much because I've been most of my life an athlete. So I'm in pretty good shape. It didn't really affect me too bad, except for I got skinny again.
That's not a bad thing, man.
I know, right?
maybe, I mean, I wouldn't want to catch it, but maybe something. I'll get a flu. Or something.
Yeah.
But bro, but yeah, man. I mean, of course, UFC 276 card. Miesha Tate bout got scrapped. Two fights on the prelims I wanted to go over, man. One of them was the Uriah Hall versus Andre Muniz. Now, Andre Muniz, of course, he fought twice last year. I mean, the guy is 22-4. Uriah Hall, 17-10. With something like that, bro, because of course we talked about taking time away from the cage.
Yeah.
For him, I'm not sure what he was doing for a year. Maybe he was active. I mean, training, competing in other sports. But I mean, coming back after a year, man. I mean, how would a year be enough for somebody to get cage rust?
So for me, it's. The mental in cage rest, of course, the mental things like, are you ready to be back in there? And I think at a certain point, it's real, especially for a big organization like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's the big show, right? For a year, I don't think that's too bad. I mean, we've seen guys come back after a couple of years, like Dominic Cruz, man. How long was he out?
Yeah,
He's
that's
just
true.
being broken,
Yeah,
and he comes back and wrecks, homie, bad.
that's true.
I think the only thing that caught up to him was age. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And his knees are constantly blowing out.
Yeah.
But for someone like Andre Muniz, how old is he? I can't even remember. For him, taking a year off, maybe the thing that would affect him, like he's 32. He's still young.
Yeah, he's still.
I don't think, and it's him being, a jiu-jitsu guy, and they can stay pretty active and competing,
right,
without being taking fights. And I would imagine being at that level that he's still training pretty consistently. I don't think he's taking a bunch of time off. He fights normally at middleweight, right? I think he's fought a couple times at 205. So I'm pretty sure he's not blowing up. I mean, yeah, he looks like a big dude, but I don't think he's putting on 40, 50 pounds between camps. I'm pretty sure he's maintaining because it's that old thing. Like, you never know when you're going to get the call.
No, I was going to say you want to stay ready, man, especially close to weight because, it's an opportunity.
Ready, don't get ready.
No, for sure, bro.
I think he should be okay. Uriah's been relatively more active than he has, which could present problems. Uriah might be in a little bit better shape.
And on this one, because, I mean, it's obvious, I mean, Uriah Hall is a striker, man. He wants to stand up. I mean, you were talking about that yourself earlier. And for him, I mean, what would be his game plan? Of course, not to get taken down, right? So
don't get taken down. Stay away from the cage. If he starts because that's a big thing, too, because Uriah's a good counter striker.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, that when you're countering, you're kind of sitting back and you kind of let them take some time. Not that I'm saying he does it, but when you watch these fights with the guys that's a counter striker, you know if you come at him, he's got a big shot waiting for you, no matter what. He's going to defend and then counter, defend, counter. The problem with that, though, with someone, like, say, if they're an aggressive grappler or they're just a march forward type of dude, you end up on the cage. What happens? You clinch. What happens? You end up in that grappling match. And it just starts slowly going down. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, that's true, man.
So for him, I would think the matchup, my honest opinion, I don't think it's a good matchup for Uriah. But I also think he could still win because he's been active.
Right.
He's been active. He's pretty sharp. He's still sharp. I think if he wants to win to stay off the cage, man, it's going to be the footwork first and foremost, man.
Yeah. You see, and I mean, for him being a striker, I mean, would you say, I mean, of course he's still going to be throwing kicks, man. But, I mean, for example, you throw the spinning round kick, you always give out your back.
Yeah.
So that's always like a big.
Throwing him unless I'm already in the guy's head.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, you might want to, batter him up a little bit and then, But yeah, that's one of the things I've always noticed. And there was somebody was talking about it the other day on one of the UFC Fight Night, UFC Fight Pass promotions. But they were saying like that for them as a striker, they'd rather just be a striker because if you don't, then you're gonna get taken down either way. So it's just might as well just throw them kicks and But when you're comfortable, I mean, Uriah's pretty athletic, man. I mean, he can get back up. It's just
But again, how long is that gonna last? I mean, just even at a low level of competition like AMI fights or smaller promotions, it's up, down, up, down.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things that wears on people. Like, when I helped my younger guys get ready for fights and stuff, a lot of the drills, even with their strength and conditioning, I was like, you're going to be getting up and down off the ground most of the time we're doing this because I can guarantee you, even if it's a high-paced striking match, that's not what's going to tire you out. If you end up getting taken down, that gas tank starts to deplete pretty quickly. So you got to be ready up, down, up, down, up, down.
That's true, man.
So, and Uriah's a muscular dude, man. Take a lot of oxygen to power that machine.
You see, and I'm pretty sure both guys cut down from 220 to 225,
so not little.
So that's another factor because, of course, I mean, now your muscles, of course, they take oxygen, but they take water, man. So you're depleting that water. I mean, hopefully their weight cut's going to be a pretty good weight cut because, it's a come fight night.
I can't remember. I don't think Uriah's ever missed weight, right?
No.
He never missed weight.
But yeah, man. But that was one of the battles, man. So of course, I mean, let's say this. I mean, Uriah Hall, Andrew Muniz. If Andrew Muniz wins, how do you think he's going to win?
It'll be by submission.
And of course,
I would say it'd be something simple like an RNC or an armbar. It wouldn't be anything fancy.
And of course, Uriah Hall. I mean, you see him winning
KO or TKO. If it goes the distance, I feel like Andre would win a decision,
right?
Because he's gonna smother him.
Oh yeah.
He's either gonna ground and pound him to death, or he's just gonna transition, threaten, pepper him with some shots, transition, threaten.
You see, and that's one of the things with Muniz also, man, is that he's not just a jiu-jitsu guy, he's actually an MMA jiu-jitsu guy. Yeah. So even if he has you on side control, he's still tagging you, and that looks good for the refs, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's we have some guys that are transitioning to MMA, and they're jiu-jitsu guys, and they're real good off their back. I go, you can't spend all around on your back.
Yeah.
American judging, if you're on your back, you're not winning that fight. I don't care if you're threatening. They're not scoring you for that. Unless you get a full, deep, freaking submission, you're holding on to it and you're threatening him one after the other. The refs will see that and be like, okay, he was more dominating on the ground. But that's a few and far between that you see a ref score it favorably.
No, yeah. That's another, here in Texas especially, man.
Yeah, they want to see someone get beat up. Yeah. And that's the problem. And the thing is, that's the difference between coming from a pure jiu-jitsu background to MMA. Like, you might be threatening off your back, you might be making him think, but if he's on top and keeping you there, they're not scoring it for you.
Yeah, you see, and I've seen that a lot here in Texas, man, or even just in general. But
I think it's just American MMA. It's scored like
yeah.
that. Japanese, it's different.
No,